On the radar when we ask an investing professional what they're looking at in today's markets. We're back once again with Colin Cieszynski, Chief Market Strategist at SIA Wealth Management, to talk about something that a lot of U.S. corporations are talking about as they roll out their second quarter numbers, Colin, and that is the effect of the strong U.S. dollar on their results. It makes their products and their services more expensive on the international markets and hurts sales.
Absolutely. We saw it earlier this week. It started with IBM and continued with Johnson & Johnson, and has the potential to have a significant impact not only on this quarter's earnings season, but also potentially even more on next quarter's earnings season. As we've seen investors become more defensive over the course of this year, looking for havens to park their capital, increasingly money has been flowing into the United States from overseas, out of European markets, out of Asian markets, out of even more recently out of commodities and things like that, and into U.S. markets, and particularly into U.S. cash, which has been outperforming relative to other asset classes. And as that's done that, it's pushed up the U.S. dollar to its highest level in years, and because of that, is having an impact on results. So the companies that tend to be most negatively impacted by a high U.S. dollar are companies who export, because their goods become more expensive in other countries. And the other thing is big multinationals, because companies with large overseas operations, when they bring their results back and convert them back to U.S. dollars, they become smaller because the U.S. dollar is higher, and that impacts their results as well. On the other hand, the sectors that tend to benefit from a higher dollar are importers, and for companies that are more domestically focused in their operations, then it's more of a neutral impact for them.
And you've also got some thoughts on gold. There's a tendency when people look at gold, it's at about $1,750 this morning, to be disappointed in its performance, but it's a bit more complex than that. It's priced in U.S. dollars. That's one issue. It's also, even where it is, and there's gold futures down over 52 weeks, gold futures in U.S. dollars down about 4%. It's still outperforming the equity market. I mean, it's better to lose a bit of money than a lot of money.
And gold historically has been seen as a store of value and as a defensive haven. And so often when people look at it, they think, well, gold should be screaming at times like this, where upwards, where it's where people are fearful and where people are looking for places to park their capital. And what's interesting is it's actually held up relatively well. On a year-to-date basis, gold is down a little bit. And interestingly enough, it's fairly similar in its performance to the Canadian dollar, interestingly enough, but it's done substantially better than the euro, substantially better than the yen, and substantially better than Bitcoin. For a while last year, I mean, it seemed like all the rage was that Bitcoin was going to replace gold as an alternative currency. And this year, that's completely reversed and gone back the other way, where gold is the one that held up when sentiment changed. And the other interesting one is the Japanese yen is the other currency that used to be a defensive haven, and that hasn't worked either. And compared to gold, the yen has completely collapsed, and the euro has completely collapsed relative to gold, as well as relative to the U.S. dollar. And in the case of the yen, that's because the Bank of Japan was pretty much the only major central bank that has refused to get on this monetary tightening bandwagon that all the other central banks are on. They're still negative interest rates, they're still full stimulus, and they paid the price with their currency, and they paid the price with their currency losing its role as a defensive haven. So in fact, even though gold hasn't looked very good against the U.S. dollar, it's actually looked quite good against most other currencies.
Colin?